enologists, wine connoisseurs, insist that French wines, such as these, are always the best. Better than those from anywhere else in Europe and superior to anything produced in California. But even the most ardent advocate has to admit the wines of France are not entirely French. It's all because of an insect and a delicious twist of fate. About 100 years ago, these rich vineyards here at the Chateau Chinon and throughout all France were struck barren by a plague of insects called Phylloxera vastatrix. The bug killed the vine roots so quickly and on such a scale, French wine production collapsed almost completely. In desperation, the French were forced to turn to a country whose tastes they regarded as something less than refined. They looked across the Atlantic to America. American vines were resistant to the bug, so the French grafted the tops of their dying plants onto the vigorous imports. To this day, although one might hesitate to make too great an issue of it, even the finest and rarest French wines are made with grapes that grow from American roots.
Winemakers and pumpkin growers share a common passion to produce the best there is. In Windsor, Nova Scotia, Howard Dill has grown the world's largest pumpkin for 3 years in a row. Although this year's entry seems to measure up to his expectations, he knows that he cannot stand on his laurels. There are others just as determined as he is to win the annual pumpkin competition. Dill's past victories have made him famous among pumpkin growers, and fame attracts challengers. Because a pumpkin begins to lose weight almost immediately after being cut from its vine, Dill waits until the last possible moment.
Move a little hard.
The struggle to hoist his entry from the field seems to prove that Howard Dill has another winner on his hands.
Okay. Up. Heavy on your side?
There's more at stake here than one man's ambition. Other places are famous for their skylines, their museums, their great boulevards. Windsor, Nova Scotia is proud of its giant pumpkins. Dill's entry is escorted to the competition with full honors. The weigh-off will pit Dill's pumpkin against entries brought to Windsor from throughout the region. All are massive, weighing hundreds of pounds each. Dill's entry last year weighed a staggering 476 pounds. He expects to beat that today.
That was exhibit number 31, Howard Dill. The weight is 486.5 pounds.
Although he has surpassed last year's achievement, Dill is concerned about an entry brought from nearby Falmouth by a grower named Owen Woodman.
by Owen Woodman. This looks like a new world record of 564.5 pounds.
Despite his defeat, Howard Dill remains determined. After all, winning isn't everything. Besides, there is always next year. In Frankfurt, Germany, once every 4 years, another contest doesn't attract entrants who grow food, but those who prepare it. Over 1,000 chefs from 28 countries have come for the international culinary competition. Despite appearances, intense pressure is building even as the chefs assemble for the parade of nations. The American team has been preparing for 2 years under the direction of Coach Ferdinand Metz.
This is my 5th Olympic experience, and I've seen many people crumble under the pressure. I've seen many excel.
Every step has been perfectly planned. Executing the plans, however, sometimes means working around the clock in preparation for the judging. Personal and national reputations are tested in a variety of demanding events. America's entry in the table centerpiece division is an elaborately detailed chocolate sculpture. The perfectly scaled 5-foot model of the Capitol will win America a gold medal. A victory in the cold platter category depends on skill in both making and displaying exquisitely shaped hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. Great food must appeal to the eye as well as to the palate. None of these delicacies are eaten during the competition. They are judged solely on their appearance. To win the prestigious hot food category, the Americans have chosen a remarkable recipe. They grind up lobster, scallops, and shrimp to create what's called seafood sausage Virginia. In the last international competition, America startled the traditional champions by winning in this category. This year, in addition to the sausages, the American entry includes a complex creation called Loin of Lamb, Wyoming. Coach Metz feels an American victory depends on the success of the team's basic cooking philosophy. In a departure from the traditional approach, the Americans are dedicated to using sauces and spices to bring out the food's natural flavor rather than to disguise it. The fate of seafood sausage Virginia and loin of lamb Wyoming will be decided by a panel of distinguished judges. Today, America hopes to win the hot food competition for the 2nd time in a row, something never before accomplished by any nation.
Und nun zum ersten Platz in dieser Gruppe, and now to the first place. I am looking for the team from the United States.
The victory helps assure America's prominence in international cuisine. For chefs, spectacular success is not the only way to win a lasting reputation. In Jerusalem, famous foods and cooks are memorialized in street names. Sekel Lahamim, for example, means Butcher Street. The street names and products sold on them have remained unchanged for centuries. Sekkahanezit means the olive oil market. In giving a name to this section, early residents did more than create an address. They also passed judgment. They called it the street of bad cooking.
Perhaps they were right.
In China, soup made from snakes is considered to be both a meal and a medicine. Believe it or not.